Hello, it's Gem Games here once again, and in this video we are going to create the game over screen. So when we die, we get some game over screen with the high score and our current score and stuff like that. So yeah, let's get started. First, we want to go to the HUD folder and we want to create a new blueprint class. Type user widget. Okay, let's just call it game over or something like that. Okay, let's open it. Let's add a canvas panel. Let's change the screen size to custom with 720 by 1280, like that. Okay, next what we want to do, we want to add a little box or like border here. So let's search for a border. Let's move it to the screen. Let's change the border size to like 300, size Y to like 400. Okay, now let's align it to 0.5 on X and actually, sorry, we have to anchor it to the middle first. Now 0.5 to the X, 0.5 to the Y, position X0 and Y0. Okay, next thing, what we want to do here is we want to open the brush and we actually want to change the tint to, sorry, not tint, the brush color. Let's actually open that. Oh, we don't have to open that. So let's change this to some shade some color that we like. I will make it like maybe something like this because I will try to make it look like in original Flappy Bird. So like this. Okay, that's pretty good. The next thing, what we want to do with this, here, where it says draw as, we want to change that to rounded box. Now we have this outline settings, let's open that. And here on the outline settings, we want to change the corner radius to 25, 25, 25, and 25. Now, from rounding type, let's change the half height radius to fixed radius. Okay. And let's change the outline width to 5. Now let's open this outline and let's make the alpha 1 so we can actually see the corner there. Okay. Now here on the border, what we want to do next is we want to add a vertical box. And here to the vertical box, we want to add a size box. Okay. And in this size box, we don't have to do anything. We want to add a text to it. Oh, under the size box, like that. Now let's rename this text to high score underscore text or something like that. Okay, and now here on the font size, I want to make this like 26. I think that's pretty good. And I want to change this outline size to 5. And yeah, now let's change this text to high score. Okay, one more thing that we have to do is we want to change the justification to the middle, like that. And also, we want to go to the size box here, and we want to change the padding. From top, let's add there like 35. I think that's good. Okay, now let's duplicate this size box. Okay, and let's change this high score text to high score amount. Okay, and let's change this text to 0. And now let's go back to the size box here and let's set this top padding to 0. Now let's go back to the high score amount, and I think we want to change this size, font size, to like 60. Okay, I actually think that's pretty good. And the next thing, what we want to do is we want to duplicate this first size box where we have the high score text. Let's move this under, actually how, if you move it to the vertical box, it will put it to last, yeah, like that. So we have it here, and it should have this justification, top 35. And now here on the high score text, we want to change this to just score, like that. And next thing, what we want to do, want to copy or actually duplicate this size box with the high score amount 0. So let's duplicate this. Let's move it to the vertical box so it goes to the bottom, or we can change it from here. And now let's actually, we'll have the, this first score. We want to rename this text block to score text, like that. And here, high score amount 1, let's rename this to score amount. And one more thing, let's make all of these text slots to variable. Score amount. Actually, this score text, we don't have to make this, but high score amount and high score text, like that. Okay, now one more thing that I like to do is I like to open this high score, and I like to change this color to some shade of yellow or like golden, or like something like that, maybe like that. Okay, so the next thing what we want to do here is we want to create the restart button. So let's select the border and let's search for a button. Let's move it to the screen. Let's change the button size to size X to like 300, Y to like maybe 80. Alignment X 0.5 and 0 on Z, X and Y. Sorry, want to align this to the top, to the middle. Okay, so let's 0 position X and Y again. And alignment Y is like -3, I think. Okay, something like that. So the next thing, what we want to do is we want to open the style. And here on the normal, we actually want to change this color. I will make it like some shade of orange, because it's like that in the original game, so maybe not that much. Or maybe, yeah. Actually, no. Make it. Yeah, let's make it something like that. Okay? You can obviously make it look however you want. And now I want to change the outline settings. So corner radius, let's make them all like, actually let's make them all 5. And this width, let's make this like 4, I think. And the outline color, I would like to change it to black. Okay, let's rename this button to restart button. Now, what we want to do, we want to actually select one of the text slots, so maybe the score from here. Let's copy it and let's paste it under the restart button. Now let's rename it to restart text. Okay, and now here on the restart text, let's change the text to start, of course, and I think we actually have to change the padding a little bit. So let's make the top padding like 20, so it will be there. If you want to change it, move it to some other location, you can make this like 15, it will go a little bit upper. I want to make it like 20, so it's a little bit on the bottom. Actually, not that much. Let's make it like 17, something like that. Maybe even 515. So it's in the middle. Okay, that's good. And now, one more thing that we want to do with the button, because now when we hover over it or press it, it will change back to white. So what we want to do, close this normal, we want to right click on this and copy, paste on the hovered, paste on the pressed. Now let's open the hovered. Let's change the tint a little bit darker. And now let's open the pressed and let's change it even more dark like that. Okay, now what we want to do, we want to actually create a opening animation. So open anim. Okay, let's click on that. Let's select our border. Now let's add a track. It should say border here. If it doesn't, you want to select the border from here. And to the border, we want to add a transform track and also a render opacity. Now let's open the render opacity first, or actually not open, but set it to 0 here on the 0 second mark. Now on 0.5, let's go to here and let's set it to 1. So now our animation is like this. And one more thing that I actually want to do now, because I will forget it otherwise, is here on the border, under the fixed radius, use brush transparency. We want to this. Okay, otherwise here we will see the border like this. Now we will not see it. Okay, now one more thing that we want to do here, let's open the transform, add a translation X and Y, and let's move this Y to 200. Oh, actually minus 200. Oh, minus 200. Now in here, let's make it 0. So now our animation is like this. You can check it here. It will come from up and it will slowly come to the screen. Not slowly, but you know. And the next thing, what we want to do, we want to click on the restart button, on the button one, not the text. And we want to add it on the track, restart button. Here we want to also add the transform render opacity. Now on the 0 mark, we want to set it to 0, and on the 1 mark, we want to set it to 1. So now our animation looks like this. Actually, I want to change one thing here. Here on the 0.5, let's actually set this to 0. And on the 1 second, let's set it to 1. So now our animation looks like this. First comes the box and then the button. I think that's pretty good. Now, one more thing that we want to add here is, let's add a... Actually, well, we have to do it from here. So, let's add a track on the border, event, trigger. And now here, on the 1 second mark, let's add a track. So it has this key. Let's right click, properties, event, unbound, create endpoints or something like that. Now let's rename this to like open event or starting event or something like that. Now what we want to do here is we just want to get player controller and we want to enable input. Okay, now let's connect this to the target and to the player controller. Now let's compile, let's save, let's move this next to the level 1. Let's go to the level 1. And now we want to go to the player bird and to the event graph and to our death function. Death event console execute console command. Let's delete this. And let's actually change our delay to 1 second. Then we want to set game paused. So we will pause our game. And after that, we want to get the player controller again. And we want to disable input. Okay, and we don't want to connect it to the target, we want to connect it to the player controller. You can move it by keeping Control pressed and moving it to here. Okay, after that, what we want to do is we want to get our game mode ref to under here, and we want to get the HUD ref from it. Let's move it up here. From here, we want to remove from parent, so it will remove the normal HUD from this screen. And now let's get from the game mode ref again, and we want to create. Oh, sorry, we don't want to do it like that. We want to right click from here, and we want to create widget, and we want to create the Gameover widget. And one more thing that we have to do on the Gameover widget, I forgot. We want to go to the graph, and we want to add a new variable. Let's call this game mode ref. Well, let's change this variable type to GM Flappy object reference, of course. And instance editable and expose on spawn. Compile, save all, back to the player bird. Now we can right click on this and we can refresh nodes. I actually heard about this just a few days ago from one of you guys, so thank you for that. Now let's move this a little bit further, and from the game mode ref we want to get the reference to we want to get the game mode ref and connect it to the game mode ref like that, of course. Now, from the return value, we of course have to add it to viewport so we can see the widget. Yeah, let's compile, let's save, let's go to the game over. Now let's go to the event graph on here. On the event construct, what we want to do is we want to get our open animation, and we want to play animation. Align these, let's compile, let's save, and now let's try. So when we die, we will get this screen. But this doesn't work yet because this episode has been pretty long, so we will actually end this for this time. So yeah, if you liked the video, please click the like button and subscribe for more. And yeah, hope you have a great day and see you on the next one. Bye.